If you watch a garden closely, you'll see that every bloom is part of a very active, hidden process. These plants are busy working toward a specific goal that usually goes unnoticed. Many of the plants we see every day belong to a group called flowering plants. This includes everything from the roses in a vase to the massive sunflowers in a field or the lilies in a pond. These flowers come in a staggering range of shapes and sizes. Some are tiny and pale, while others are massive and vibrate with bright colors. Many of these blooms also release a sweet scent and produce sugary nectar. This combination draws in specific visitors, like bees, beetles, and butterflies, who come looking for a meal. These colors and smells act as a specialized invitation. By attracting these insects, the plant is recruiting the help it needs to complete its most important task. That task is the creation of new life, a process called reproduction. It ensures that more plants of its own kind will grow in the future. To make this happen, flowering plants produce seeds. Each seed carries the blueprint for a new plant, waiting for the right conditions. As a plant grows and eventually makes its own seeds, it moves through a specific series of steps known as a life cycle. We can follow that cycle right here. A seed sprouts into a seedling, maturing into an adult. The adult produces a flower, developing into a fruit containing seeds. This isn't a one-time event. The process starts again, keeping the cycle moving indefinitely. The flower's primary purpose is to keep this movement going, ensuring the plant's family line continues. After pollination has occurred, the flower begins a total transformation. The bright petals that were once so important dry up and fall away. While the petals disappear, the base of the flower, called the ovary, begins to swell. Inside, tiny seeds take shape. The ovary expands until it becomes a fruit, like an apple. The fruit provides a protective layer around the seeds, keeping them safe as they finish developing. Every time you see a piece of fruit, you are looking at a flower's final work. However, some plants take a different approach. These are non-flowering plants, and you'll often find them in the form of leafy ferns or low-growing moss. Many of these plants don't use seeds at all. Instead, they produce tiny structures called spores to grow their next generation. Spores are far smaller than the seeds you might find in an apple. As this comparison shows, they are almost microscopic, yet they still hold the power to grow into an entirely new plant. Other non-flowering plants, like pine trees, do make seeds, but not in flowers or fruit. Instead, their seeds develop inside the woody scales of a cone. Whether using a blossom, a microscopic spore, or a tough cone, each ensures the next generation survives. We can group most plants into two categories. Flowering plants have blossoms, generally produce fruit, and use seeds to reproduce. Non-flowering plants don't have blossoms. Instead, they use spores or cones to start their life cycle. Once you recognize these differences, you can start to identify the specific strategy every plant in the wild is using. Think about a peach tree. If you see it covered in ripe fruit, why wouldn't there be flowers on the branches anymore? It's because of that internal change we saw earlier. The flower had to disappear so its base could grow and transform into the fruit itself. This all serves the plant's ultimate aim, reproduction, or making more of its own kind. And the path it takes to get there, from a seed all the way back to a new seed, is what we call the life cycle. Flowers bring in the insects, fruits protect the seeds, and spores provide a tiny path for mosses and ferns to grow. Now, when you step outside, you can see these patterns for yourself. You're ready to look past the scenery and understand the active life cycles unfolding in every corner of the natural world.